All right, now since our class, I have done my short rows, I have done the raglan increases. I am at the point where you need to be when you come to class in November. Now, let me point a couple things out to you. I did 8 short rows, so this is the back. You cannot really see my turns all along here. If you rub your fingers along there, you can kind of feel it, but you can't. It's pretty well camouflaged in there. Um, so this is what it looks like on the back. Let me turn it over so you can see the front of it and see what those 8 rows did. Let me smooth this out. So there's the back. And let me line up my patterning. There we go. And there's the front. So you can see with the 8 short rows, I have basically a little over an inch of difference between the front and the back. Now, when I line up my stitching and I look at what that means in terms of the neckline. All right, here's my stitching lined up at the bottom, smoothing this out. And let me show you the neckline. You can see the difference there in the neckline. All right, so you can see it's about an inch different right there. Now, I'm going to do something that probably some of you are going to think is silly, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to block my sweater so far. And I'm blocking it for a couple of reasons. The first is it's the only time I'm going to be able to take this and lay it out in a big circle and flat and really stretch it out. After I have this done and I separate it for the sleeves and the body, this yoke is going to constantly be folded in half. So I'm not going to have another opportunity to really lay it out flat and smooth it out the way I can now. The other thing is, once I get it stretched out and laid out and done, I can see how it looks. Are my stitches okay? Is it laying flat? One of the concerns somebody shared is the fact that if you look at it, it seems like when I lay this here, it seems to be going at an angle, at a twist. And that's mostly because as we're knitting in the round and we're twisting it as we go. But once I block it, you'll see it's going to straighten out and the stitches will line up nice and straight. That's another nice thing that you want to accomplish now. The final thing is, once I have this blocked, I can try it on and get a really accurate feeling for how this is going to fit me. Is it going to be too loose? Do I need to tighten things up? Is it too big? Do I want to add some more stitches? It's a very rough guess because you don't have the body separated from the sleeves, so you're wearing it almost like it's this odd little cape sort of thing, and it's hard to really get a good feel for the fit, but you can get some basic idea whether it's going to work or not. I still have my counting thread in the back. I will be moving that once we do the separation. And to block this, you can see how, or maybe you can't, but it doesn't lay flat because it's all gathered and puckered. So I have to find a way of laying this flat, and I am not cutting my thread. I am leaving my thread attached, and I am not taking my needles out. I am leaving my needles in here. So what am I going to do so that I can make this work? Well, you've got 2 options. One, you can take a large piece of yarn and you can basically put in a lifeline. Now, when I put in the lifeline here, I'm only going to put the lifeline in for maybe a third of the sweater because I'm not taking my needles out. So all I would do is take my needle and just come along here and put a bunch of my stitches on the needle like that. But I also have these little, I forgot to look up what these things are called. You can buy these from knitting supply places. They come in cute little kits with like 4 or 5 little bands, and they are basically plastic things that are hollow, and you can basically stick this on your needle and then you can slide your stitches directly onto that. The advantage of that is when it's time to put them back on and take them off, it goes so easily. And what I do is I'm going to take one end and put it on the one needle tip. I'm going to take the other end and put it on the other needle tip. And I'm just going to slide until I can lay this flat and there's no puckers. So you see how that works. Now I can open up my sweater and lay it flat so that when I block it, I can stretch it out nice and flat and really get a good feel for this. When I block this, like I said, I'm still going to leave this end attached. I'm not sticking the whole thing in the water. I'm not sticking all of the yarn in the water. I'm going to put the sweater top in tepid water. Let it sit for a couple of hours. Gently wring it out. I have a spinner that will get all the moisture out. And believe it or not, when I put this in the spinner, I'm going to put this in the spinner, put this in the middle of it, and let it spin away. And then I'm going to lay it out flat on a towel, stretching it out as I go to make sure I'm evening up all of my stitches. So I'll stretch it up and down, I'll stretch it across, I'll stretch it sideways. After I stretch it, then I just let it resume to its normal state that it wants to be in and let it dry. After that's done, that's when I try it on and see how it fits and decide, do I need to make any more tweaks to my sweater as I begin the body and the sleeves. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll pause the video, I'll go soak it for a couple of hours, see how it comes out, and then I'll come back and show you what I've got. Okay,